Every minute you spend organizing is an hour you gain back somewhere else. Ben Franklin said that. I don't know. He said something like that. I was trying to be dramatic. I can't do it. But I bet if he had a toolbox, it'd be really organized. I bet that guy never lost a 10mm. This video is going to be the most comprehensive toolbox organization video on the internet today. And I'm gonna go over all kinds of different brands, all kinds of different organizers, different categories, and just a ton of different ways to organize your toolbox. And I think this is gonna be really helpful for a lot of people. And I hope you guys enjoy today's video because I spent a ton of time doing it. Let's go. Now, I do wanna offer a little bit of a disclaimer before we get started. I didn't have all these products on hand when I went to start this video. There's like, I don't need this many organizers in my shop or my toolbox. But I reached out to about a dozen different companies, and for the most part, everybody was happy to send me some samples. So I got a bunch of free samples from companies, but that's the only affiliation I have whatsoever with any of these companies. Nobody's paying me to say any of this stuff, no sponsorships, no brand deals, nothing like that. Even some of the discount codes that you guys are gonna see for like 20% off or whatever if you use this code, all of those were just offered to me for you guys, for my viewers to get a better deal. So I get no kickback whatsoever from any of that stuff. I'm just here to inform and give my honest opinion, even though I'm not gonna like rag on any of these companies because they're all really great companies. I just wanna be as transparent as I can be with you guys. So yeah, the first category that I want to start with is going to be sockets, because technicians seem to have a ton of sockets in their box. So there's a lot of companies that make socket organizers for guys. The first company I want to go with is ERNST. If you're not familiar with ERNST, they make a ton of different toolbox organization products, and they've been in the game for quite a while. Like, I think they've been around since the 80s, and they're an American company. They're all made right here in the United States. And they all have a lifetime warranty. Those two things are huge to a lot of technicians. And so that's awesome. It's called the Socket Boss. And basically you can put sockets on here, you twist lock them, and then they aren't gonna come off, right? It's really handy for if you're gonna remove these trays from your box and take them to your workplace or wherever you're working. The first time I saw these was in Braden's box. He does a lot of customization for sprinter vans.
One of my first main purchases that I made was buying these Tekton socket sets. They're branded Tekton, they're actually ERNST.
Oh, okay.
So if you buy them ERNST, I think you can even get them on Amazon, and you can get them in just about any color you want. So
awesome.
if you have like a color you like, because I have mine set up to where the red is metric, okay, and the black is standard.
And then I saw them again over in Virginia when I went to a Honda dealership down there. David's box, that massive Matco one, he had these in his socket drawer. It looks so good, so good.
We'll do the top drawer that everybody loves.
Look at that.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start.
So these are, what kind of organizers?
These are ERNST. I think they call them the Socket Boss tool organizers. They sell them, Tekton sells them, I think Snap-on sells them. They're great because the rails are turn and lock, so you can lock the sockets on. Okay. But you can also just pull the whole rail out. Oh,
that is so nice.
So it lets you configure them how you want. I'm really particular about knowing what's missing. So I have everything, yeah, everything that's in here pretty much that has a spot, you know, it has a peg. So I know if I go to look at a glance and there's a peg there's something missing in an open peg, that I'm missing something.
So it's kind of cool. He was able to take, these trays out so I can look at these tools a lot closer while they're right here on the workbench as opposed to being in the toolbox. And they also make a few different colors. Like this is the high vis, which is neat. And then they also have red. This is like their massive 18-inch one, but they make red, and then their smaller 8-inch one. This one happens to be blue. So a bunch of different colors. I think they make orange and black as well. When you fill out an entire drawer of these, they look so good, so good. Let me show you. So this is the Socket Boss system in full effect. I've got a bunch of these trays filled out through this entire drawer. I've got, for the most part, metric on the left side, SAE on the right side of the high vis. And then in the middle, I've got kind of a bunch of specialty stuff. Got triple square, hex, Torx, inverted Torx, things like that. They also make these trays up here. They have 3 different rails on a single tray. And like I said, I can take these over to my work area. I have no risk of these sockets falling out anywhere. I do have some quick grab ratchets and extensions in the front here. So if I'm working on something and I know I'm going to need 1/4 inch, I could just, like I said, I could take these and I have no risk of any of this stuff falling out. I just take them to where I'm working, set them down, and I can use them. Like it's really, really nice and convenient. I have a few quick grab ratchets in here just so that I don't have to go to my ratchet drawer to pick out a ratchet with a socket. And I just love how this looks. Like nothing looks real jumbled and messy. Everything looks like it's really well organized and put where it needs to go. And if I ever have the issue of, well, I want to change this design up, super simple. I just take the trays out, and if I want to change the rails out, I just swap the rails to another tray. It's super easy, and that's one of the benefits of this design. Super simple, and I love it. ERNST also offers this bit organizer. This is called their Bit Boss, and basically it's the same kind of design. Has a tray with 2 rails on it, and you can just fit a bunch of bits on it. So you can either fit them on this rail standing up, or if you have longer bits, you can lay them down here. I just put these in here just to show you guys what it's capable of. I probably wouldn't put really long bits on this side, but really portable, really handy. Again, if you want to take the rails out, you can swap them, but they look really cool, and they go right at home next to these Socket Boss organizers because they come in the same colors. So pretty cool design, and I'm happy that they offer something like this because I see a lot of guys that struggle with bit organization, and so this is definitely a cool solution. For those of you that don't know, I used to wrench professionally, and I did it for about 13 years. I was in automotive, and I remember when I first started out, I would go to Sears, and I would just browse around, their tool section, and I would look at all the stuff I couldn't really afford yet. But the one thing that I would go in and I would see is I would look at their, they had a wall, just a wall full of these organizers, and these are the Hansen socket trays. And I remember I would go in there all the time, and I would see these there, and I couldn't get over how much I wanted them. I wanted them so badly. And I remember walking in one day, and I thought, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna buy them. Today's the day. I'm gonna get them. And I felt so excited. I walked up. The shelf was a little bit lower, and so I knelt down and I grabbed like 10 of them. So I had like 10 of them in my arms. And I started walking to the register. And to get to the register, you kind of have to go down one of the aisles. And one of the aisles had a wall of discounted items. And I stood there. I had all this stuff in my hand. I'm looking over, and I'm looking at all these discounted items. And they didn't have discounted stuff. They didn't have very good stuff that was discounted very often. And I remember looking, and they had some screwdrivers, and they were Craftsman Professional screwdrivers, which have a different, they're just a little more, I have them still. I have them, these right here. This is how memorable. I bought these a long time ago, but I remember buying these when I was looking for those. So they have a different handle, nice grip, made in the USA. And these ones are like nice and long. And if I remember right, these were like, I don't know, 70% off or something like that. But anyway, I had, that whole armful of these socket trays. And I was looking at that sale wall, and I was like, you know what? At this point in my career, I need tools more than I need socket organizers. And I remember it almost felt embarrassing to me because I took them all. And I had to kneel back down, and I had to put each one of these back one by one, and oh, that sucked. That freaking sucked. But I went back and I bought some of those tools, and I just wish I could have afforded these back in the day, because these, bee's knees right here. So these are the Hansen socket trays. These are made right here in the United States by a company called Hansen, and they have a lifetime warranty. They sold these in Sears. You can get them on just about any tool truck nowadays, and a ton of guys love these. These are just fantastic. They're the original maker of this peg style design, and this design hasn't changed much over the last, I don't know how long these have been out. I think 20 or 30 years, but this design hasn't changed much. I think they may have beefed up these pegs a little bit. And in regards to pegs, if these ever break off for any reason, you just go get another tray. I've seen guys that have like 2 or 3 of these pegs broken off. And I'm like, why don't you just get a new tray? And they don't realize that you can just get a new tray with the broken pegs. But yeah, this company stands behind their product. It's a family-owned business, and they've got a couple of different, they got a bunch of different colors, and they've got a couple different designs. So they've got this one. I'll just show you. So these are the Hansen trays. Like I said, they do offer a bunch of different colors. They got orange, green, red, high vis. I love the high vis. Like it really pops. But they've got a couple different designs. So they've got this one that has 3 tiers for deep, semi-deep, and shallow. And then they have the same thing over here for the, the SAE stuff. But this is the other design they have where there's, 2 tiers for deep and then shallow. And they have that for metric and then standard as well. So really timeless design that's never going to go out of style. I still see a ton of these in toolboxes when I do toolbox tours. So it looks like you keep a lot of sockets up top here.
1/4 and 3/8.
All right.
All the halves and other boxes. I got so much,
Yeah.
scattered around.
I love how bright these are. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sweet.
These are...
Look at that. More of the orange.
Yes, orange everything.
Oh my goodness.
I do metric on the left,
Okay.
standard on the right, and I do 1/4, 3/8, and then half, and then the back is actually 3/4.
Oh, nice.
This is my socket drawer.
Seems heavy.
It is heavy. We've got our standard sockets right here, metric sockets right here. There should be 12-point and 6-point shallow and deep of everything.
This is my sockets for when I'm in the shop. I've got my service truck. I've got a bunch of sockets and stuff in there for when I'm running around.
Okay.
But this is pretty much everything that I need for just about anything unless I have to go to my big box.
Oh, gotcha. Snap-on actually rebrands the Hansen trays, and they put their logo on them because they know that they're great design. They sell a ton of them, and they do really good. So about 2 years ago, I started this channel, and I had maybe about 1,000 subscribers. This company reached out to me, and as a company I'd never heard of before, and they said, "Hey, we're a company that makes toolbox organizers." And I thought, okay, that's cool. And they said, "We'd like to send you some of our product to show you what we've got." He said, "There's no obligation, nothing. You can do whatever you want with the organizers. We just want you to have some on hand." And I thought, I like free stuff. Send some my way. And so he sent, some samples of his product. And from that point on, every toolbox tour I did, I kind of hunted for that organizer just to see if I could find it out in the wild. I thought that'd be cool. I didn't have much luck because I feel like this company is relatively new, so they haven't been out there very long. And also, I feel like sometimes a space that has players in it that have been around for 30 or 40 years can kind of dominate a space. And so it's kind of cool when you see somebody trying to get into the industry with their product and try to get some awareness of what they have to offer, because I think the more options you have, the better. I feel like not every organizer is going to work for every toolbox, and I feel like some organizers are going to work perfect, while that same organizer won't work for another box. So that was about 2 years ago, and that company has grown quite a bit, and that company is Alien Space Savers. Now, this company is owned by a guy that wrenched for 20 years. So this is a guy that knows what it's like to be in a toolbox all day and what it's like to have to look for tools that you can't find. So he made a solution. This is his solution to cleaning up a cluttered box. I do have some in my box I can kind of show you guys. And I gotta be honest, they're pretty slick. I like the way they look. It just looks good. I'm a fan. So this is the Alien Space Saver system, just completely decked out in this top drawer. And I'm so excited because, like I said a couple years ago, I had no idea what this company was about, who they were, and now I've got an entire box sitting here full of them. So this is the original design that they sent me a couple years ago, and you can see they have this aluminum rod that goes through them. It was okay, but this thing that they moved to, this, I think they call it the Polypro rods or something like that. It just looks so much more slick with the black and red. I love that they went that route because I feel like it's much more appealing than that. But yeah, so I've got most of my metric stuff here. I've got the red attachments with the black rods on this side. And then for my standard stuff, I have the black attachments with the red rods, which I think just looks killer too. Oh, and then in the middle, is most of my specialty stuff and some 1/4 inch, throughout. But having them up and down, you can get 2 rails that attach. You get the attachments like this right here. I attach these together, and so this is just one big rail going all the way up and down this entire tool drawer. I kind of don't mind them just being separated because I can still line them up, but if I want to, I can take this, out of the box. Whereas this one, it's kind of huge. I can't really take it out. So, but still a really cool system if you want something that can go all the way across your box. That looks really slick too. I've seen it before and it looks really good. Tell me that doesn't look sick. Like that looks awesome. Oh, I love it. I hope this company continues to keep going in the direction that they're going because they're growing pretty fast. And I'm excited to see these in a bunch of toolboxes in the coming years, and I'm excited. So I did a toolbox tour. It's been a couple months now, but it was a guy named Brandon, and he worked at a cat parts department. He had a bunch of these. Like these are. Can you just hear that? These are an organizer from a company called Toolbox Billet, and Brandon had a bunch of these in his socket drawer. What are these? Like I'm seeing these everywhere. The organizers?
Yep.
That looks killer.
So they're billet aluminum.
No way.
And I found them on, there was a guy on Facebook on one of the Snap-on pages that was like kind of promoting them. Bought, I think, one of the socket rails from him.
Okay.
And I fell in love with them, and so I've ordered everything.
That is so nice.
That's toolboxbillet.com, I think, is his website.
Okay.
You can go and buy that stuff from. It's super nice. I mean, he builds those sets specifically for your Snap-on extensions, so this is like the 1/4 and 3/8 drive set.
Okay.
And obviously the 1/2 inch drive set.
So like fits perfect.
Yeah.
Like it's.
Yep.
Oh man.
And they sit down in there.
Even when you put it back in there, like it just sounds good. Like,
yeah. I love them. And I think they just look sharp.
Look at these things. If you need a socket organizer that's gonna survive the apocalypse, this is what you're looking for. This is just solid piece of aluminum, and this is like the most stout toolbox socket organizer in the world. I'll tell you, I asked him because I was asking questions about him. I said, "Hey, so you guys are made in the U.S.?" He's like, "Yeah, we're made in the U.S." And I was like, "So you guys offer a lifetime warranty?" And the way he responded, he's like, "Who the hell is going to need a warranty this?" Because whoever needs to warranty this is literally abusing you. There's no question. But he was really cool about it. He's like, "Yeah, well, I'll take care of anybody, if it's a problem with the organizer." But I love this set. So there's a few different, a few different sets here. So he sent me this 6x6 square, which has 1/2 inch, 3/8, and 1/4 inch. Trays like this are really cool because a lot of bit sets come with sockets that have 1/2 inch drive and then 3/8 for smaller sockets, and then the smallest usually have 1/4 inch. So something like this is really good for stuff like that. Then I have the 1/4 inch tray. Then I have both 3/8 inch trays. This is the SAE and metric. So you can see they're kind of, they have cutouts for the different, sockets where they should go. And that's just because these are spread out down here. So it's way spread out here versus over here. They're kind of close together. Really cool, well thought out set. But Brandon had a set that I really liked. And it was for this Blue Point set here. It's the 87 piece Torx and Hex set. So a bunch of people own this set. I'd say at least half the people I do toolbox stores with have this set, and I would say I'm in the minority because I don't unfortunately have this set. Shout out to Jesus, who I just did a toolbox tour with not too long ago. He let me borrow it so that I could show you guys this. Look how killer this looks. Look at this. This has a spot for every single socket in that set. And man, it's just so robust. I love, like when I was looking at this tray with Brandon, just like how well this sounds. Like it's just a solid piece. I love it. But so this is kind of a cool thing. So these really tall sockets, you can see that there's a recess for them to sit in. And that's because these are really tall, and this makes it so that this will fit into other toolbox drawers a little easier. So even though these are all standing up, these will still fit in most socket drawers. Just a well thought out design, and yeah, couldn't be happier. This is just toolboxbillet.com, really cool guy, and awesome product. Speaking of their website, I went on their website not too long ago just to browse around, see what else they had, and they had these okay, they had these organizers for torque wrenches. Oh my gosh, I don't even have all the torque wrenches, and I wanted to buy it. So it's for all the digital torque wrenches. You know how they have, Snap-on has the foam, or you get the foam with all the, the trifecta, the 1/2 inch, 3/8 and 1/4 inch Snap-on torque wrenches. I'm telling you, if I had that foam set, I would give that foam up right away, because that billet piece is so freaking sweet. So it'll hold the 1/2 inch, 3/8 and 1/4 inch torque wrenches, and has like a separate compartment for batteries, and it just looks killer. Like, it looks so good. If you don't have the foam and you have all 3 of those torque wrenches and you're looking for a way to, to storm, that is what you want to, like, that is just, it looks so good. Even if I had the foam, like, I would give up the foam for that. It looks so, it makes me, so I have the 1/2 inch and 3/8 inch electric torque wrench. It makes me want to buy the 1/4 inch torque wrench just so I can have that organizer. So nice. Check it out. Really, really cool. There is a, like, I think the billet piece is probably cheaper than what you would find the foam for. It's no brainer to me. I feel like the billet piece is so much more stout, and just, oh, it's so nice. Check it out. It's really cool. The next organizers are Toolbox Widget, and these are kind of exploding in the toolbox organization space. They have a few different organizers, but these are their socket organizers, and they're just like a modular design. And so I can kind of show you what they've got here. So they've got, different sizes. So this is 1/4 inch, 3/8, another 3/8, and this is 1/2 inch. And they've got little spacers here in case you need to have a little more space between your sockets. And I also really like that they're orange, because when you have one that's out, you know exactly which one is missing. They also have these little labels here that you can get, and I mean, they're just like, they poke into the center of this organizer, and then you know which one. I'm not huge on labels, so I kind of left them out on these. But if it is something that that you like to have, and that's something that they do offer. But really cool design, because they're really modular, so you just stick as many as you want onto each other, and you can make whatever design you want. Like, I made a little square here. But the guy who created these, he's a combat veteran, and then he went on to be an aircraft mechanic. And so he's also really familiar with what it's like to be without having a toolbox that's organized the way he wants it. So pretty cool stuff, and yeah, nice. So this next company that makes these organizers, it's also a USA-made company, and there's a small family-owned business. They've got a few different products on the market, but for the most part, what they've got is these organizers. This is a company called Westling. If you're not familiar with them, they make these aluminum trays. Oh my gosh, these are nice. I almost feel like these should be in a jewelry store. Like, so I got the black and purple anodized, and man, that just looks so good. But they've got 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/4 inch, both trays, and they've got a few other colors as well. I've seen these come with a lot of the Capri sockets, which is kind of neat. So you get the Capri socket, and then they have trays that are made specifically for that set. But you can buy these individually or as a set, and man, they look so good. I love how these are all marked and labeled already, so I don't have to worry about labeling, because I'm not a huge guy for labeling. But if it's already labeled, that's a huge plus in my opinion, because then I don't have to worry. Like, okay, I see that's very clear as day, a 15. Very clear, a 20 millimeter, and I don't have to like hunt around. There's one thing that I noticed on these that I haven't seen on other organizers, and that's these circle pegs. They're all circle, right? I don't have to wonder, like, is this gonna go on here correctly? Like, I just throw it on. I think that's just a really cool design that they have going on here, because I don't have to think. And I know that most people will be like, well, I mean, you just line up this square. It's not that hard. When you're like in a fast-paced environment and you're trying to put stuff back, where it goes so you can start the next job, putting sockets back on and them just being a circle, like, it's faster, and anything that increases speed is a win in my book. Just imagine having like an entire box full of these. Like, could you imagine if this whole side was purple? Oh, that would look so good. Oh gosh, now I'm like fantasizing about tool organizers again. This next setup, I kind of want to just touch on real briefly because I think it's worth mentioning. And it's these mechanics time savers. The first time I've seen these was in Cody's box, and he had a great big Matco box, and he had a bunch of these in his socket drawer.
My socket drawer, the main socket drawer.
Oh man, this thing's loaded up here.
It's pretty good. It's got a lot of mix match stuff.
I love how you have all of these like modular, like seems like you've got a bunch of like...
I really like these trays, and that's why I've got a bunch of them. It's the same like in the top cart there.
Okay.
But the premise of these is basically these sockets can be locked into these trays, and so you just turn it and it'll stay in there. And so it has these handles, and so the way Cody had them, he had a whole bunch of these, you know, lined up. Cool setup to where if you take tools home quite often, then you can just kind of leave them on here. And then when you leave for the day and you go work on stuff at home, you can just take these whole trays home. You don't have to bring like a big, you know, bag full of sockets home and have to reorganize them every time you get back to the shop. So kind of a cool pickup there. I think for the right person, this could be kind of a lifesaver. So definitely worth mentioning that. These next organizers are offered by Aries. There's a few things that make these a little special compared to typical socket rails, because at first glance they just look like regular socket rails, other than the fact that these are really slick, like black, anodized black, and then these are you know, nice anodized red, is that these are magnetic, and these have some crazy strong magnets. But before we get there, they do have 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/4 inch, and I think they have a few other colors as well. But I mean, these magnets are wicked strong. So I mean, you know, I don't see guys utilizing magnets very often. I feel like it's kind of a dying art. But something like this, it could be a game changer for a lot of guys. If you were to put something like this on the back of a tool cart, like on the lid of the tool cart, or if you're a mobile guy and you have a service truck, if you put these on, you know, on one of your service doors. But just put all your go-to sockets here, even if it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't have to be from 10 to 19. You can just put all your actual go-to sockets. I remember I did a tour with Danny. He worked at a GM dealership. He didn't have these organizers, but he did like to put all of his go-to sockets just right at the ready.
I have 7, 8, 10, 13, 15, 18, 21, 24. So it skips a bunch of sizes. Like if you're working on Toyotas and Hondas,
yeah,
I skip all those sizes because we don't use them much. Nice. I have them down here, but
okay.
So that's kind of what all these are. You know, 8, 10, 13, 15. You know, and then the bigger ones, 21 and 24.
Because even though the sockets didn't make much sense to me, I mean, they just look like a bunch of oddball sockets. To him, they were his go-to sockets. They're the ones that he used every single day, so he didn't have to search for them every time he needed them. He just put them, you know, very accessible. And I feel like something like this would definitely help guys out. Keep in mind, these are magnetic. They have foam on the back of them, so you're not going to risk scratching the paint on your toolbox. It's kind of neat how they have that set up there. So yeah, so while we're on the topic of magnets, there's a company called Vim. I'm sure you guys have heard of them, but they make these socket rails called the Vim mag rails. Typically they would have socket holders on here, like you'd put them, okay, these magnets are crazy strong. Holy crap. But you would just fish the socket holders through this little channel here. But they're magnetic and like incredibly strong magnets. Like, I don't even think you need the holders. Like, they'll just they'll just stay there just like that. These are crazy strong. I bet I could close this whole drawer just by holding these. Anyway, these are another option. Like, if you want to put them on the back of like a cart. Same deal. I'm kind of scared to do this one. This is going to be a disaster, but oh, frick. So yeah, I mean, you could put your go-to sockets or whatever up there, and whatever you need. I'm regretting this decision already. Okay. So yeah, they make these, and I figured I'd at least mention them because the first time I saw these, I saw them in Hiram's box. And what about these, like the rails? What are those?
These are like the mag rails, I believe they call them. And
do you know who makes them?
I think it's VMF or is it VIM
Vim?
Tools?
Oh, Vim.
Tools.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, yeah. I think that's who makes them, yes.
They stick pretty good? Like,
oh, they're so hard.
Are they?
They're so dirty and like stuff like that too because they're so hard to take off.
Huh,
so I left them there and it's kind of like it's staying there.
And I think Hiram put some good use to these rails and he had some good things to say about them. So they seem like these magnets are just ridiculously strong. So even if you don't have the socket holders, they work. Okay, we're just gonna have like a magnetic party so this isn't really a socket organizer per se, but I did a toolbox tour with Clemente and he used these almost exclusively.
And then this is my
oh man, that is
my
like,
socket drawer.
It almost looks unorganized, but I can tell like everything is where it should be.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured I could organize it more than this, but I tend it just comes back to this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Utilize these magnets a lot, I guess. Gosh, that's sweet.
Yeah, these were two just magnet sheets off of Amazon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I had to kind of file the edges down so they'd fit in the drawer side by side.
Oh, okay. And so the way he used them, it just made sense. Like he had such a small setup that he was able to kind of, consolidate space by moving everything like it was literally touching all together. So if you're really limited on space, or if you just have some sockets that you want to kind of keep together, this is definitely an option. This happens to be a Cornwell magnet, but a lot of different companies sell these, and they're pretty darn strong. Like, I bet I could. Nope. But definitely cool for storage. If you're just putting these in your box. I don't know, man. These are some of these. Anyway, yeah. And again, since we're talking about magnets, Aries makes this. It's a cool bit organizer. And like I said, I feel like a lot of guys struggle with bit organization. And so whenever I see some sort of a bit organizer, I always like to talk about it. And also the magnet on the bottom will hold these bits in place. So like if I were to turn this upside down, they're not going to fall out. But it's cool. You can put this on the back of your cart, just like those Vim mag rails. But I feel like if you got like 2 or 3 of these, I mean, you'd be totally set for bit organization. These next organizers, I don't see a ton of guys rocking these anymore. Kind of an older design, but they're these magnetic trays. This one just happens to be branded Blue Point, but I think back in the day they were made by Mechanics Time Savers. Kind of nostalgic in a way, just because I don't see these very often. It was kind of neat when I saw Mike from Z Motorsports. He had a ton of these in his box.
Socket drawer. So this is got a lot of history in it, but basically anything from my 3/8 extensions here, anything left is SAE, right's metric. The 1/4-inch wobblies are fairly recent. I just bought the metric and the SAE set year ago maybe.
Okay.
So not too long ago.
But kind of a neat design. They're kind of heavy organizers because they got a big magnet and they're just, they're kind of substantial. The magnet for the most part is just to keep the tray in place and to give these sockets, a little more of a planted feel. These aren't going to hold up, on the back of a tool cart or something like that. These sockets, they'll just fall right out. They're not going to stay in there. But like I said, a lot of guys used to rock these back in the day, and they make different sizes, like 1/2-inch size, like the holes are bigger for 1/2 inch, and then they got 3/8 and 1/4 inch, and they even have some that are 3 levels. So now, since we're on the topic of magnets, there's these organizers that I cannot find anymore, and I wish I could because I would buy them. They used to be at Home Depot, and I did a toolbox tour with Connor a while back. He had a really nice Matco box, and he had them in his box.
I'm not a big fan of the blow cases.
Oh,
I think
gotcha,
they take
yeah.
up too much room.
Oh, yeah.
So I like to organize a little tighter.
That's
I got all the fittings and stuff, some disconnects and, hose releases.
Nice. Was this like part of the box, or how's that?
No, these actually just, they're just magnets that kind of section it off. So I buy them, put them in here so I can section some things off, keep it all nice and tight.
Who makes those?
I don't actually remember where these came from. They actually came in an old box that I had.
Whoa.
But they're magnetic, so they'll just stick to wherever you want.
That's cool. Huh. But I mean, essentially, it's just a bent piece of metal with magnets on it. It's super simple, but it's so nice because you can organize, big drawers. Say if you have a big drawer with a bunch of air tools, you can slap those in and it keeps the air tools where they go, and then you can put, you know, still utilize the rest of the drawer. You don't have to have big air tools smashing into other tools. And it's just, even if it's not big things, you can still, you know, divide the drawer up with those. And so I wish somebody would just make something similar to that. If you're listening to this and you think you could do it, just do it. They'd sell really well because you can make different heights. And so this is my attempt. I made a 3D print of this, and it just is not working because these magnets are not strong enough. And I feel like this design is just, it just doesn't look good. So this is, I had some time. Like, see, these magnets just don't even feel good. There's like, what, 10 magnets in here. They suck. So I am going to try to do this again. This design just doesn't look good, and but even if you have something to like bend sheet metal and make something with magnets, I think they'd sell really well. There's been so many times when I felt like if I just had something I could divide this drawer up with, other than like a tray, because a tray, it just seems so constrictive, they usually have compartments and stuff. I don't want all that. I just want something that I can divide a big drawer up and then put what I want in different areas of the drawer. I don't want to have like different cubbies and stuff like that. Something that I can put in there that will help me divide it. I just wanted to mention that because I thought that was kind of neat, and I've been looking for something like that for a long time, and I don't know why Home Depot doesn't carry it anymore, and I couldn't find it anywhere else. So I don't know, just somebody out there, make it so I can buy it. Quick shout out to Olsa Tools. These are kind of just real basic rails. You know, they don't have any like magnets or anything like that, and they have plastic socket holders. Just a basic design, fairly economical, but the colors that they come in, look at that green. Then they have the black and it's like an anodized rail system. I just wanted to mention these because some guys are just really, you know, looking for a basic set of organizers, and this would kind of fit the bill. These are just kind of spiced up a little bit. Now, last, as far as sockets go, but certainly not least, is the Toolgrid. Now, if you're not familiar with Toolgrid, basically this is a platform that you set in the bottom of a tool drawer, and they have a bunch of little holes, kind of like pegboard, and they sell these tool holders, and tool holders have little pegs, and the pegs go inside of the holes. Super simple, right? They sell these little 6x6 squares, which is really neat because you can set however many these little 6x6s will fit inside of your drawer. Makes it really modular. Or they sell these big honkin' squares like this. Something like this would take up like half of a Master Series full-length drawer. So if you get, you know, 2 of those, you're good for a full drawer. But this is incredibly customizable, and that's a good thing, right? Really customizable. You can do whatever you want. Put these little tool holders. These little holders are for sockets. They also have them for wrenches and pliers. But because they're so customizable, it makes setting this system up incredibly time intensive.
It took forever to get it to a setup that I liked.
Yeah. How long did this take to set up? This looks time consuming.
Well, it took like 10 minutes, 1,000 different times.
This looks like it would take forever to set up.
Yeah, I've ripped this out twice and redone it. Oh. I'm to it at this point. If I had to redo it, I'm just buying a whole new box.
Because they get it all put together and they're like, that doesn't quite look good. Or maybe I forgot to put these sockets in it, or maybe I got some new tools and I got to take everything apart. So it can be kind of time intensive to get it set up. But when you get it set up to exactly how you want it to look, oof, it looks really good. So this is Toolgrid. You can see that the left side of the box is primarily blue, right side is red for standard and metric. Now, I do have a few ratchets that I set up here just for quick go-to, just so I don't have to go to my socket drawer or my ratchet drawer just to get a ratchet and socket. Now, they do sell these little holders, tool holders for the anvil, as well as the handle, which is really, really convenient. And also, every single tool holder here, whether it be a socket holder or, you know, for ratchets, they have little screw holes. So these little screws are supposed to go in every single one of these little holders, right? Imagine you have all of these screwed down and then you're like, I want to change the whole setup.
I haven't screwed them all down yet because I keep moving them around.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I move them all around. It takes a year.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I move them around. Still not exactly happy with it. And I don't know if I'm going to move them, so I'm not going to screw them down until I'm happy with it.
I think I've got it to a point where it's the most intuitive for me. I kind of know where every socket is, kind of the bigger sockets in the back, a bunch of different specialty sockets in the front, hex, Torx, triple square, inverted Torx, shallow, stuff like that. But it's, like I said, it's just really, really time intensive. But man, once you get it to where you want it, it looks so good. Now this main portion up here is Toolgrid. I do have a small portion here that, this isn't Toolgrid, of course, but I do have this mounted. This is the 3-tier drawer organizer that I saw in Tomas's box.
Here, keep.
Look at that, that's genius.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, where'd you get this thing?
I found this at Lowe's one day. I forgot the name of it. It was like one of those as seen on TV products, and I thought, hey, I can use this.
That's awesome. And I was like, I have to have it because it's just so convenient. But there's little mounting tabs on this little organizer, and just so happens that they fit right into the tool grid. So I put screws in all 4 corners so that when I do open this up, it doesn't topple over. But I put my extensions in here. I made these little 3D holders, and the top is for 1/4 inch, middle is for 3/8, bottom is for 1/2 inch. Makes it super convenient because if I just had these laid out on Toolgrid, the extensions alone would take up like 1/3 of this drawer. So to have them stacked up on top of each other is really convenient. Now, mind you, this is meant for like a kitchen for knickknacks and stuff, not for heavy tools. So this is not something that's very substantial, but it's worked for me. And Tomas used this for a long time, and he works in a full service shop wrenching professionally. So they do hold up. Just keep in mind of what you're going to receive when you do pick this up. The next category that we're going to look at is going to be wrenches. And the first brand we're going to look at, ERNST. They make a really cool product for organizing wrenches. This is it's like a modular design. So they have like a 3-piece, 3-wrench piece, and then a single wrench. And you can, just depending on how many wrenches you have, depends on how many of these you put together. Really cool system. Any like modular system for organizers, I tend to really like, just because you're able to make it your own and customize it however you want. These are the models with the magnets in them, and they hold pretty well. I really like them. Check it out. I mean, so these are the ERNST organizers. They're filled through this entire wrench drawer. And I've got a bunch of wrenches in here, but I think this setup just looks so good. I've got metric on the left, standard on the right, so black and green, and then I've got a couple of other colors here. These are basically just to show you the other colors that they offer, high vis, red, blue, green, black. But I think this setup just looks really nice. Like I said, I like how they're modular, so I can just make as many as I want in a straight line. And they have little spots here on the front, these little flat faces here. They offer like sticker packs, and you can label these organizers whatever size you want, or you can just leave them blank like I did. Maybe at some point I may put labels on them, but for right now, I think they're just fine because I can find wrenches pretty easily. And these organizers, is these something special?
They're I don't know how you pronounce it, the ERNST.
Okay, yeah.
Just on Amazon, yeah.
Yeah.
I did the ones with the magnetic bases.
Oh, okay.
Just because I didn't want to shut my drawers and have my wrenches slide 6 inches into the back of the drawer.
Yeah. But yeah, I love this setup. I love how it looks, and I love how it functions. Really easy to set up, and pretty durable so far. I feel like just handling in my hand, they feel really really stout. They do seem to work with just about any size wrench up to, I don't know, what size is this? This is a 32 millimeter. This is an 1 5/16, and so it seems like the bigger ones, these organizers tend to make these stand up more straight, which is totally fine with me because it still fits in the drawer just fine. And then these smaller ones, it'll lean them back a little bit more. But yeah, I just love how this looks. Again, ERNST, made right here in the United States, and they have a lifetime warranty on their organizers. So yeah. Definitely a top pick right here. So Toolbox Widgets, they also make these. These are the they're like a modular design, and you kind of put them together, kind of like the ERNST, but it's kind of a completely different design. Something about these just, they feel good, like high quality material and just very well put together organizers. Like I don't know if you can see that, but like they're a little bit flexible, and they feel good. But I don't have a full drawer of these, but hopefully what I show you will kind of give you a glimpse into what these things can offer. Let's check them out. Like I said, I don't have a full drawer of them, but man, they are sweet. You can see that they come with these, the labels that you can put in here. They got blue for metric and red for standard. Even though they're black, a lot of organizers, they're really bright and flashy and crazy with the colors. Even though these are black, I feel like these really pop. And I don't know how to explain it, but everything just looks really, really organized and on point. So all of these organizers, the labels, they'll come separate. You kind of insert them into the top of the organizer, or you can leave them open, just like these. I didn't care to put labels on them because they're pretty easy to read. They look good. I don't know. Some of these products are just kind of like you gotta be there. They're nice. They really are. I hope you guys can take my word for it. These are really well-built organizers, and they just, they work. Shout out Toolbox Widgets. Whatever they did here, I hope they keep doing it, because this is good stuff. I am really a huge fan of this stuff. Next up for wrenches, you saw Alien Space Savers had the socket organizers. They also make these same, polypro rods with the, they just make different attachments. So instead of having the socket pegs, they've got these little dividers for your, your wrenches. And this system, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I do. Once I started putting the wrenches in, I realized something. So let me show you guys what I got. So these are the Alien Space Savers. So I've got all my wrenches in here, and man, they're actually a lot nicer than I thought. And I wasn't thinking anything bad about them, but as I was putting these wrenches together, the name kind of clicked, like Alien Space Savers. These things save a ton of space. And it's because of the way they store the wrenches. Like, you're able to make them completely vertical rather than laying backwards, or rather than laying back a little bit. And man, if the name of the game for you is space savings, this is the best set you're gonna find. And these are pretty versatile, because you're able to not only, you're able to do things like this, like put a wrench in completely flat if you want. But yeah, they stand up completely straight, and it makes everything look so nice. Like I said, if the name of the game for you is space savings, I think you're gonna have a hard time beating these. They work. Like, I feel like I could put maybe 2 or 3 more wrench sets in here, versus other setups might be a little more difficult to squeeze them in. Quick tip for you guys. Organizing all these wrenches is already a big chore. But what I discovered while I was doing this, because there aren't very many write-ups on how to do this. I mean, it's a pretty simple setup. You just kind of space them however you want. But I have a quick tip for you guys. So if you want them like this, where they're all vertical, it's kind of hard to get the gap just right. And so I got it to where there's no gap and there's a little bit of friction. So I'm able to put them in there, and there's no slop in these whatsoever, right? And there's a little bit of friction, so when I put these back, there's a positive connect in there. And so the way to do that, I know this seems simple, but I feel like this might help somebody. Say you have your dividers here. Typically I would have 2 hands to do this, but you kind of just force them down really slowly until there's a gap, and there you have it. So now it has a little bit of friction on there, and then when you put it back, it goes in really nice, and it's not going to move anywhere and flop around and everything. So I hope that helps you guys if you decide to go with this system. I am a big fan. This is really cool. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. Not that I didn't think it was a good solution for some guys, but the more I worked with it, the more I kind of fell in love with it. This is good stuff. Next up is from a company called OEM Tools, and they offer this type of organization or wrench organizer, and it's just one long rod, and so you get 2 of these, and you can put a set of wrenches on them. This is actually cut down a little bit. They're actually longer than this. I can kind of show you, but this type of design, the benefit to this is there's not much thinking to it. Like you just set these down, and then wherever the wrenches can go, they can go. You don't have to worry about, you know, any customization. Like there's no customizing this unless you want to cut it down or something like that. But all of these little triangles, they're the exact same size all the way down. So there's no like small ones on this side and big ones on this side or anything like that. These don't run in like a triangle. These just, you know, you run them in parallel. And I ran them for quite a while in my box. I just ended up getting something different just because I like to change things up once in a while. But they work for me, and they look pretty sweet. I am a sucker for the green, so I mean, I do like that they're green. It is, it kind of sucks a little bit that they're all green. Like it would be cool if, you know, this side was, you know, different color. I think they make black as well, but I'm not positive on that. But I do like how they're in parallel instead of like a triangle shape. And also the fact that they're all, you know, completely even, which means they all end up looking the exact same as far as spacing wise. But yeah, you can fit a ton of wrenches in here. These do have tape, double-sided sticky tape. I've never had to do that because I knew I might switch it up, so I never wanted to actually put sticky tape onto these the mats or the drawer liners. But they work. I mean, you can use them just depending on the spacing. You can put them really close together or further apart. You can even use 3 rows if you want to, like if I wanted to support this side as well. So yeah, pretty cool. And like I said, these are the full length. I mean, this is almost the full length of my Epic drawer here. So these are decently long. And so if you do want something that will take up the whole length of the drawer, this could definitely be an option for you. I will say that if you have really big wrenches like these guys right here, these will clear, but they're kind of hard to stack up next to each other. So I kind of had to stagger them, which I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I've got the room and it doesn't look bad. But if you have a massive one, like that's an 1.5 inch wrench or any jumbo wrenches, this system can't really support that just because, you know, the limitation of the spacing there. But otherwise, you know, regular wrenches looks pretty sweet. A couple quick mentions. I do have these wrench organizers that are kind of good for either mobile techs or just technicians. Like I said, that like to use the back of a cart or something, just anywhere that's, you know, a metal surface that, you know, you can utilize magnets. So this is the Cornwell wrench rack. So this is just rebranded Easy Red. And these are awesome because they're all magnetic. And so they stay put really well. Like not only is the wrench rack magnetic, but there's magnets inside of the holders to keep these, you know, inside so they're not gonna fall out when you take this off. So definitely really underrated setup because if you have these, like I said, on the back of your tool cart or something like that, then it's just really convenient because you don't have to open up another drawer. You just pick out the wrench you're after. Also, while we're down here, Snap-on makes a wrench organizer. The first time I saw this organizer was actually it was an auto body technician. His name was Hiram. So what are these? This is neat. I've never seen this before. Like,
yes,
they're like magnets with like
This
hooks?
is actually a Snap-on item, and I have them in each drive. It's pretty cool. So yeah, they hold the sockets up top, and then the ratchets. And
what? Oh, so it's like, that's crazy, huh? So these kind of like your go-to?
Yes, these are my go-to. These are my go-to. Up here is my go-to, my 7, 8, and 10s. And I like to have the shallows and the magnetic, and then the deep socket and the magnetic. Nice. And then my, obviously my wobbly.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But yeah, and then my stubby, to get in the wheel wells, my stubby Phillips
Nice.
right here.
So yeah, I mean, he was utilizing the back of the cart, but this is a really cool system. You just hang your wrenches down here, and then you have your corresponding sockets up here, and then over here you have a space for either extensions or a ratchet or something like that. They have this 1/2 inch. They also have 3/8 and 1/4 inch. I will say that I also saw this in Brandon's box. So, well, it was a service truck.
My wrench rails, and I really like them. Snap-on came out with these, I think, last year or something like that.
Okay.
But it makes it really nice because there's a socket on top of that, and so you have all your, basic ones right at your fingertips.
And the fact that he had all of those organizers on his doors and they never fell, I understand. I understand why. Okay, I don't know what Snap-on puts in these magnets, but they're so crazy. They're like crazy strong. No risk of these ever falling down. Very strong. And they also have, I would show you, but I would mess it up trying to film and take them off at the same time. But there's foam also on the back, so it's not going to scratch, kind of like the other organizers that were magnetic. A couple cool magnetic organizers, and worth mentioning. But wait, there's more. I forgot about these. These are made by Aries, and these are the same thing. They got magnets on the back, and you can hang these up. See that? They are really good for, like I said, mobile setups or on the back of a tool cart or something for your quick go-to wrenches that you use all the time. So yeah, if you like them, check them out. If you don't, Aries. Now the last set of organizers I have that I'm going to show you guys are just something that I made. I bought a 3D printer a while back and I started printing stuff. And so this is what I came up with. Don't judge too harshly. I'm not a professional at 3D printing, so this is what I came up with. So you can kind of see I've got green for the metric stuff, and then for the little SAE I have, this is like a silk yellow. But it's kind of like a modular type deal that I made. I took one out, so this one would go right here. But I mean, it's just kind of a simple, and I made cutouts for magnets that I bought, and I ended up never using them because I don't know, I feel like they stay put pretty well. Same thing for the wrenches. I had some magnets for the inside, but I ended up not putting them in there because the wrenches stay put, pretty well. And this design isn't anything new. I feel like there's a lot of guys that custom make wrench holders that look similar to this. So I'm not taking credit for anything like this. This is just I did make this from scratch, but I mean, this is something that a lot of people kind of make from scratch as well. So it's nothing that I can really take credit for. It seems to be working pretty well. Because I did it all myself, I was able to put custom labels on every wrench. So like these are the Genius set. And so I was able to put custom labels on those, all these line wrenches. These line wrenches are all custom. Well, I mean, it's all custom, but I was able to put, custom labels on all of them. Same thing over here, the SAE stuff. I was able to label all of them. And then this is kind of an organizer that I bought for these offset wrenches. They're just kind of all one piece. So I played around with it, and this is the best I could come up with. I have some bigger wrenches in the front here, one big SAE wrench, and these are all metric. And they kind of have the same design as this foam set, which is like black on top and green on the bottom. I love this design, but it's mostly just because of the amount of work I put into it. I had like maybe 10 prototypes just because like I would change the design a little bit and then I would print it out and I'd be like, no, that doesn't work. But I came to this set and I really like it. So a few questions that I get asked. One, what type of printer do I have? I don't really know a whole lot about 3D printers. I got the Bamboo Labs A1, which got good reviews and a lot of people recommended it, so I got it and it works really good. I don't know, that's all I got for you. They have a smaller one that's like a Bamboo A1 Mini, but I got the bigger one, just the A1 regular, and then mine has like different filaments that you can put in it, so I can print like multiple filament colors at the same time, or in the same print. So that's all I got for you there. Also, people seem to ask if I'm willing to sell these, and no. I've got too much stuff going on right now. I do not have time to make custom orders, although I would love to. I would love to do it. I don't have time. And hope maybe in the future I'll be able to set something up to where I'll be able to make, because I have a lot of ideas. Looking inside of these toolboxes every day, I am telling you guys, things go through my head. I'm like, oh, that would be perfect. and I end up not doing anything about it. Someday I will. But I appreciate anybody that shows interest in this stuff. I don't know. This is my my wrench drawer that I made, and yeah. Now another thing that needs organization is ratchets. That's if you have a bunch of them. If you only have a few of them, then it's cool to just throw them, next to your sockets or whatever. But if you have a bunch of these, like some guys have a ridiculous amount. Like I have too many. I don't know why I collect them, but I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous. But it seems to never stop, so I keep getting more and more. So this is one option. This is the gear wrench foam stuff. Last time I saw this was in Jesus's box, and he had a bunch of these. And this organizer, is this?
So it's a gear wrench brand. I found them also at MPS for $20. No way. Came with 4 of them. I have them like in different drawers too.
Okay. I love that.
I bought them a couple weeks ago to try them out, and so far they work good. They don't, like, you can shake it and nothing moves.
This is legit like sound deadening material. I don't know if you can get it cheaper as sound deadening material, but this is really what it looks like. But it works. Like if you have a bunch of ratchets and you're looking to organize them, definitely just throw them on here. And Jesus used this stuff for like everything. He used it for like ratchets and pliers and just a host of other things. So like you can, I don't know, put whatever you want on this stuff, really. And because it's foam, I have no fear of like, keeping my torque wrenches on there. They're nice and comfy and protected. And this is 4 different sheets. Like it's not like one big mat or anything. So this is one sheet here, and then another one starts here and ends here. But I mean, they're good size, but if you don't have a box that you don't need to take an entire full length drawer up for just, ratchets, you can just use, certain portions of this. That's kind of what Jesus did. He had like one of these pads in each one of his drawers that he wanted to organize with them. So I feel like there aren't very many companies that make standalone socket organizers. Like I feel like there's companies that make organizers, but not standalone. So like Toolgrid, you can get Toolgrid and have some organizers in it, but it takes up the whole drawer. You can't just have certain ones in Toolgrid and the rest of the drawer free. You kind of have to dedicate a drawer to Toolgrid. Same thing with like the gear wrench foam. You have to have the whole mat there. You can't just have a portion or just the ratchet with foam. Like you have to have the whole mat there. But there is a company that makes some really cool products if you want to have organizers in your box and not have an entire box and not have an entire drawer dedicated to ratchets. You can have other things in that drawer. But that company is SJW. And if you haven't heard of them before, they make some really cool products. So these are all the holders for the 1/2 inch, 3/8, and 1/4 inch. So they make a bunch of different colors. They also make high vis. These are actually for the quarter inch body with the 3/8 inch anvil. But the magnets, like they're so strong. I don't know how I don't know. Maybe it's just really, really strong magnets. Like watch this. Look at that. But yeah, really cool design. So you don't have to dedicate an entire drawer for just ratchets. You can have these, lined up on the side and then have the rest of the drawer with other stuff in it. You don't have to have, just a drawer for ratchet organizers. So I do like this design. Like I said, they have the magnets, and also the magnets also do another thing is they hold the ratchet into the organizer. So the ratchet doesn't come out. Like if you slam the drawer, these aren't going to come out. Like see that, how they get stuck inside of the ratchet? It's kind of a cool design. But like I said, I don't see a ton of companies that make anything like this. This guy has been doing this for a while. He used to be a mechanic too, and he makes these out of Canada, which is kind of cool. Now, since we're on the subject of SJW, they do make some other products. They have these cool extension organizers. So this is 3/8 here, and then 1/4 inch on this side. So they have them for 2 organizer or for 2 extensions or 4 for either. They also offer this really cool thing. Move these a little bit. This little stacking tray, which is awesome for deep sockets like this. So this is hex, standard, and metric. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? So a set that would normally take up this much space, you're able to stack it. Oh my gosh, I love that. And so they sell other things. You can just keep stacking them. Genius idea. and really cool. They also offer this. They sent me this, which is kind of neat. It's like a collapsible parts holder. If you're looking to support a small business, give SJW a look. Seems like a really cool business, and they make some awesome products. Next, I want to go into Pliers. So there's a few companies that make pliers racks for pliers racks. I feel like I'm gonna have a stroke. Racks for pliers. This is the ERNST solution. So they've got these racks here. This is the Snap-on rebrand, but same deal. This happens to be the high-vis version. I do like the size of these. I think there's like 10 or so slots. And basically, if you want to put these in a full-length drawer, you can. You just buy, several of these. But if you want to put them in a smaller drawer, like down here, also possible. So I like how they kept that usability in the design. And I threw a few pliers in here so you guys can kind of take a look at how they work. I feel like most people have seen plier racks, but ERNST made right here in the United States again, and they just make some cool products. So now, Toolbox Widgets. Just like their wrench organizers, they make an awesome product for pliers as well. I set up a few pliers on here just to show you guys what they're capable of. But yeah, just kind of like their wrench organizers, they're just a modular design. You can stack as many as you want next to each other. They have a couple different sizes, like these are the smaller ones, and then these are the bigger ones, and then they have smaller ones throughout. So again, lifetime warranty on all their products, so it's not something that you're ever gonna have to deal with ever again. You're not gonna have to buy another set of wrench organizers if you go this route. I do like the modular design because, I mean, these can work in just about any space you want. If you have a drawer that's relatively small, you can use a couple. If you want one that goes all the way across the full-length drawer, these would help you out too. So cool stuff. Now there is another design of racks. They're made out of just like wire, kind of. And a bunch of companies make them. It's what I use for a long time, and I still have them in this box today. But they're these the wire racks, and like I said, I feel like most people have seen these, but they're just the black wire racks you can buy on Amazon and stuff. I'm kind of partial to these just because I've used them for so long. I bought these pretty early on in my career, and they've held up really well. I can't see these ever failing, But they do their job. They hold all these pliers in really well, and they have different spacing. So there's like fatter pliers that can fit on this side, and then smaller spaces on this side. This drawer kind of has a lot going on, so I don't mind it being kind of a mess in here. But like I said, they do their job. They're stout enough that I don't have to worry about messing them up or anything like that. Snap-on has a set of wire racks kind of like this. They're a little more substantial, and they look maybe a little bit nicer than these.
This one we got pliers.
Nice. I love these organizers too.
Yeah. These are the Snap-on ones, the racks.
Okay. I've cut these down over the years just to make them fit in places. But yeah, Snap-on has some really long ones if you want to put them in like a full-length drawer or something like that. The last setup for pliers organization, I know a lot of guys aren't a fan of this, but for my application, I guess, is what I'm shooting for. So this is a company that I kind of actually just recently found out about, and they make foam. And these are all my my go-to pliers. Whenever I need pliers, this is the drawer I look at first. Now you can see this takes up an entire full-length drawer. And so a lot of guys aren't a fan of this because it's kind of a waste of space. But I mean, I have a 73-inch and a 68-inch box, and I don't even wrench for a living. So if I have extra space, I'm gonna use it how I feel like I want it. And I feel like when pliers are out like this, it's easier for me to see versus having them in here. Like, I feel like this, every time I get in here, I have an anxiety attack because it's just so crammed in there and they're just hard to see. Whereas this, now granted, I don't have the foam set up yet. This is a company called 5S Supplies. And like I said, I just recently purchased this, so I haven't gotten the foam cut out yet. But what they do is they have this for the bottom. This is like a thinner piece. And so this is what shows through when you don't have a tool in it. And this is the top. So what you do is you trace your pliers here, you cut them out, and then you turn this around, you take this off, and it's like sticky tape. Turn this around, stick it on here, and then you just have a cutout with red where the tool goes, and then that's how it works. So I've got a few boards of this. I'm gonna fill this entire drawer with it. Like I said, this isn't for everybody because some guys, they don't have the space to waste, and I do. So I feel like this is gonna be my favorite method. I just, to be honest, I love how it looks. I've seen setups where they just look so good. So I'm excited to really get in here and start cutting. To be honest, you have to have patience to cut into this foam, because once I start cutting, I can make, I can get through this entire board, and then if I make a mistake, like I can't erase, I can't undo stuff. So got to have a lot of patience. These aren't cheap. These are like, this company is, a relatively professional company, so they make some really professional products. Like this stuff is very, very resilient to oil and solvents, and it's kind of hard board. Same with this stuff on the bottom. And they're not cheap, but they're not ridiculous either. They make custom sizes as well. So if you have a custom size drawer that you want, or they have these bigger pieces, they just got a bunch to offer. So, and they got a bunch of colors too. They don't just have black and red. I'm excited to get this drawer just completely outfitted. I do like the Knipex pliers, so I have a lot of those in here, but I'm just waiting for a day where I don't have anything to do and I can just spend the entire day to get, at least some of these cut out. Moving on to screwdrivers. So I have a love-hate with the snap-on, the plastic trays that they come in when you buy them. I love how they look, but I hate how much space they take. So this is one of the solutions that ERNST makes. And it's pretty simple. You just have 2 rails and you can have alternating screwdrivers in here. I like it because of how simple it is, and it doesn't take up a whole lot of space, and it kind of condenses all of these screwdrivers, instead of having those 2 massive snap-on trays. So it definitely helps save space, and it's an easy setup to use. You just slap it in a drawer and you start, going back and forth. And then of course we have Toolbox Widgets. They make a ton of products and all of them are really awesome. So this is their screwdriver organizers, really similar to like the pliers and the the wrenches. Same kind of design, real modular, so I can make these as long as I want, put them just about anywhere. But it gets rid of these, these cases that take up a ton of space. And they're really accommodating because they have these spacers in here. And so without these spacers, these start getting all jumbled up and messed up. Unless you have them alternating like this, then the handles won't touch. But if you need them like this for long screwdrivers, they do offer these little spacers here, which are really handy. Again, lifetime warranty on these products. And these all have magnets on them, so they're nice and, they're not going to go anywhere. These aren't going anywhere. You can see the only ones that are moving are the ones that are not in one of those organizers. So awesome setup. I'm really happy with them. And to be honest, before this video, I had them in these trays because I don't mind them being in these trays, but this, I'm gonna stick with this. This just looks killer. I feel like I'm able to find things I need a little bit faster maybe. Yeah, check them out, Toolbox Widgets. Ton of cool products. I love it. Lifetime warranty again. Last but not least, ERNST. Again, they have a magnet design, and it's pretty sweet because, again, you can just put these on, back of a tool cart, or if you're a mobile dude, you can put them on your doors or whatever. But awesome design. These little fingers in here, they hold these things really tight, so you don't have a risk of these ever falling out accidentally, even though if they're like hanging like this. So ERNST makes this design, and again, they have, because they're magnetic, they have this like foam on the back, so there's no risk of like scratching your box. But those magnets are crazy strong. And just real quick, I don't want to spend a ton of time on this, but I feel like some guys struggle with pry bar storage. Like sometimes I see them just resting against their toolbox or just jammed into one of their big drawers, and it just, if you don't need to have them locked up, you can do what I did. I got some Harbor Freight magnets, and there's just like these big ones right here, and they go all the way on. This is a 58-inch pry bar right here, and it goes all the way up here, and that magnet holds it just fine. Like really, really strong. Like if I have my finger between the pry bar and the wall, I can actually get squished because that magnet's so strong. So definitely a good pickup if you're looking for something to store your pry bars and just keep them off the ground. So yeah. Last category, I want to talk about when I went to that the Honda dealer with David and he showed me his box. He had a lot of his blow molds labeled, And I think that was just such a genius idea to label all the, you know, the blow molds and things that you can't really tell what's inside without taking the blow mold completely out.
I'm a little OCD, so I label everything.
I think it's kind of like it would help proficiency. So David showed me what he uses, and it was this Brady printer. Now, this is a fantastic printer, and it does a ton of stuff, like way more than you would ever need to just label some blow molds. Like this can label wire harnesses and like help wire a house. You can label the junction or the circuit box.
Sugar, it's blue.
You want a blue one?
I want the blue one.
Oh, you want?
Okay.
Okay, I'll get you a blue sucker. Be right back. So, while I do recommend this, you know, this Brady printer, I would say that it may not be suitable because this is like, I forget, it was over $100, I think. But if you don't need it for other things, there are other printers, like Brother makes the P-Touch, which I know is much simpler, but it does the exact same thing. Not all of these functions, but if you just need to label, you know, some blow molds, that would be a fantastic way to go because they're way more economical. Now, while we're on the subject of labeling, like that's another really cool organization tactic. There was a company that reached out to me and they do 3D prints, and they asked me if I was interested in this, and I thought, you know, I'm making this video, that'd be perfect. They make these cool 3D labels. Look at this. So they've got magnets on the back, and then you can just stick them on your box. Watch, I'll show you this. It's pretty cool. So, I don't know, drill bits, but like say if this was drill bits, put those there, and then ratchets. Oh, this is my ratchet drawer. Standard sockets. So they got a bunch of different labels, and I know that he just started doing this, so I'm sure that he'll have more. Like there's air tools, standard wrenches, pliers, screwdrivers, and they got a bunch of different colors too. Look at that purple. Got yellow, blue, tan, and red. But yeah, also I like that these, if you have an Epic, they can go just right there. Instead of being right on the face, they can go on this this portion here, which is kind of nice. And because they're magnets, you don't have to stick them on here with, you know, like they're really removable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Cool idea, and I thought I'd share that with you guys in case you guys are interested in you know, labeling and stuff. I'll leave his information with the rest of everybody else's in the description so you guys can look that up. So that's it. I know that this wasn't every single toolbox organizer on the planet, but I hope this serves as some kind of a guide for guys that are looking for toolbox organization. There's a ton of stuff out there, and so I figured if I can make a video and kind of go over some of the, you know, the more common organizers out there, it may help some guys. If it does, please let me know in the comments. I've never done anything like this before, but hopefully it helps some guys out. I don't know. This is the first time I've. What's up, buddy? Yeah, bring it here. I'll help you. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this before, where I got products from companies and then you know, tried to show you guys. But yeah, hold on, buddy. Hold on, guys. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. This took, there you go, goldfish. This took a long time to make, and so I hope that it can help at least somebody out there that's looking to organize their box. I feel like a lot of people watch this channel for organization ideas, and it's tough to try to find. Can you close the door, buddy? Thank you. It's tough to try to find the best organizer for your box because there's just so many options out there, which is a good thing. But if you're not sure exactly what you're after, it's kind of overwhelming. So hopefully this video will be of some service to somebody. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any other suggestions as far as toolbox organizers, please let me know in the comments. I'm sure a lot of other people would appreciate that as well. But yeah, until the next one, we'll see you.